at the end of school, you are not going to really work as a general manager. You should be able to move around when you are ordered. When the general managers come up with a jargon, you should understand what he's saying. Okay. With that, I think our students will be able to give the best.
Now, Doris, since you have come, let me just move on to you and ask you this question. Now, the question is, when these, well, I don't want us to focus so much on the technical universities, because you know we have other hospitality institutions that equally train students for the industry. Now, the question I want to ask is, what do you say, or what will be your comment on people who say that, or industry players who say that, yes, it's okay, and we know that these graduates from the technical universities or the universities are supposed to be universities and managers, but who are they going to manage? They are going to manage people. What are they going to manage? They are going to be managing the department. So what is wrong with letting them start from the scratch? So letting them get their hands dirty, because if they don't get to know how the system works, they get to sit at the top. Then now the junior ranks, or those who are beneath their role, start making mistakes. But because they have not passed through the ranks and they have not really gotten to know what goes on, they just don't get to know the kind of mistakes that is done. And that is where the flopping comes from. That is where they start making the mistakes. So what do you say to this?
Yeah, so, you know, when we are in school, when we were in school, for instance, during practicals, we do all these dirty works.
Okay.
I remember scrubbing the gutter from head to toe. The departmental gutter, I remember scrubbing it. You know, I remember cutting onions when my seniors are having practicals. I go there to cut onions. I remember going to do blending. And when you go to these industries, you don't just go and begin to manage. You go around to see what various sections are doing. We see what they are doing. Well, you work with the housekeeper for some time.
Okay.
You've already learned the theory.
Okay.
And when you go around with the housekeeper for at least 3 days and go around with the houseman who goes around the compound, you know what he's doing. You've learned the theory already. Me, if I learn the theory and I see the practicals, the next time you ask me to do it, I can do it. But then the end of the day, the whole thing ends with, after everything, after graduation, when I come to this place to apply for a job as a manager, won't I be flopping? I don't have to do the dirty jobs already, but I cannot manage because I didn't get the chance to work with the manager. I only know how to manage in books.
Exactly.
Okay.
So we should be able to know what we are training the people for.
Okay.
If you know it, working from the doing the dirty job is not the issue, because to me, and with the interest I have in the industry, I know how to do the dirty job. So whoever comes under me, I'll be able to teach the person how to do it.
Okay.
After, even as we are learning in school, we practice the same thing we learn in school in our houses. When you come to my house, the way I do my things is different from somebody who do not have hospitality background. The way they will do their things in their house. Sometimes when I go to people's house, I find it strange the way they do things. It's not because I know it more than them, because the way I was brought up and the kind of training I had from school, the way I do my things is different. Even now, I may have problem with the way my mother used to do her things because of my kind of knowledge. So the dirty work, we know how to do it already. But so far as you are training me, oh, I'm doing hospitality management, what are you managing?
Okay.
You went on the job to do internship to go and do the dirty job. We know how, to me, we know how to do it already. So far as we've learned the theory, we've seen the practicals with within 1 or 2 days, it's enough.
Okay.
Unless maybe big managers will disagree with me. But I think it's enough because I know how to do it. The dirty jobs, we know how to do it. But we don't know when it comes to the management. Somebody will say you have to work in the industry for some time before you be promoted to become a manager. here lies the case. Before you be promoted, even before they even promote you, the person you are supposed to learn from has been fired or has been promoted. So you are left alone to do your own thing, to come up with your own way of doing things. So I think the managerial aspect, we are not getting it.
Okay.
The institutions are not getting it. The industries are not getting it. They want you to do the dirty job because the students are posing as a threat because most of these managers do not have what the students have. Exactly. So they say you should go and do the dirty job because if they teach you how to manage after school, you may come and take their position.
Exactly.
So our institutions should be
exactly what I'm saying.
Our institutions should really get that clue. They should not listen to the people who are already on the job. They should learn. They should help us learn how to manage. If you don't employ me after school, the fact I know how to manage, and if God blesses me and I get some money, or if the government is able to build some hotels, I may be able to fit in somewhere.
Exactly.
You know, so we are trained to manage. That's what we should be
there should be a clear plan.
Exactly. A clear plan. And this should be a framework for all stakeholders in the hospitality industry. The workers, the owners, the administrators, the managers of the institutions, which is our lecturers and students. And after creating this policy, there is a need to train the concerned population, which is the students and the workforce, keep them informed, provide the resources and create the enabling environment to ensure that the policy is working. We have to, if it is a national policy, our hospitality industry will really boom because the workforce is good. We are doing everything now. We have that access to the industry. We have everything. Our workers are doing their best. So that thing, it should be a national thing. It should not be only an institution thing. The institutions will say this and the industries will also be saying something else. No, they cannot come and do, but no, they have their own motive. We are going to take their positions when we are done. So our schools, Dr. Danso.
That is why I am advocating that there should be a place where the industry comes together with the institutions. If that is put in place, we won't have issues. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Okay.
If that is put in place, we won't have issues. Even if we have issues, to be, just little, So, like Doris said, there is something, I don't know, we all have done HND before we move on to wherever we find ourselves.
Exactly.
I want to take your mind back. Maybe we didn't take note. As a student, I didn't take note of that until I became a lecturer. Then I looked at the syllabus. I'm like, okay, I went through this. Okay, there's a way the syllabus is done. When we were in HND1, the courses that we read, let's take the 4 basic hospitality courses: food production, food and beverage service, front office operation, and accommodation operation. Those were the names, right?
Yes.
So that is what it is. HND1. That is what we did. So in accommodation, we treated the attributes of a housekeeper. What is housekeeping, cleaning, all those things. And then you do a practical of it. And when you go to the hotels, when you go to the hotel for attachment, that is what you expected to do at that level.
Yeah.
You understand? Likewise, food production, we did the basic cutting, mise en place, the cuts of vegetable, all those cuts. So you know how to slice, how to chop, how to all those things. Then how to handle a knife very well, to chop, types of knife, types of cooking, and all those things. So when you go to the industry, that's attachment. That is what you expected to do in the kitchen.
Okay.
And so on. The same is with front office. The same is with what is it? Food and beverage. When we go to the restaurant, you are allowed to serve in the industry because you are taught service, how to handle a tray, where to serve food from, where to serve drink from, all those waiting skills and those, you know. Now, when you graduate to HND2, it becomes a bit tougher. You learn more serious things. Then in HND3, the names change. I don't know whether you noticed.
Yeah.
Food production becomes food production management.
Yep.
Front office management, food and beverage management, accommodation of management. Do you remember?
Yeah.
So it means it is the final year, that final year, the 2 semesters, you are doing management. The management of those things that you have learned in first year and second year. And then when you go to the industry, that's exactly what you are supposed to do. That is where the issue now comes. When you go there, no manager will allow an HND student to come and no.
They see them as a threat.
Of course. Of course. You are going on attachment. The highest they will allow you to wear is your black and white, your long white, you know, long shirt, long sleeve shirt, and then the black skirt.
Exactly.
And they will not, then you cannot get near the manager of any of these departments to go and say you are learning to manage. No. So that is where the gap now begins, where it comes. And that gap is what we are looking at, how to bridge it. Yes, that's gap. So unless we come together, the industry and academia, and we say this is what we want. I remember when we went to GIMPA, that's 3 months attachment that they found for us. I did mine in a particular hotel. I need not mention, but we all remember where we went.
I think we were together.
We were all together, right?
We were together with Priscilla and Sanyami.
I was with you. Yeah, I remember. So, yes. For that one, our manager told us we're going. I'm talking about our manager from GIMPA. He told us it is pure management. So even housekeeping, we were following the supervisor. I think they made us do 1 week.
We did some housekeeping.
Yes, we did some 1 week with the housemates. But then they gave us the opportunity to go with the supervisor and do the supervisory thing. So I think that thing should be done all round.
Yeah.
Yes.
Apart from working with the supervisor, the executive housekeeper, because we can fit into their positions. We can fit in there. Apart from working with the supervisors, there should be a way of working with the head of the department. And if possible, at the end of our final, after everything, we should find they should structure the curriculum accordingly. That maybe go and work with a hotel manager for at least 6 months. After that, you write a report. Then after the report, your supervisor at school will look at what you've done before they award you with your degree. To me, that's what's supposed to be done. Because you cannot just do management and you will not go. There's no way you work with a manager. Then later on, you go and be applying for a job as a manager. No.
Exactly. It becomes difficult.
Very.
Yeah.
But Doc, how do we tackle this graduates from the technical universities that are facing all this challenge? Because most often we've had statements from hotel owners saying that they don't perform well. I know that my other panelists have talked about the reason why they don't perform well, but how do we bridge this gap? How do we ensure that from all that they have said, that at the final year of a student in the technical university, you have a clear career path? Either 6 months before you complete, you are made to work with an institution, or you know where you are going. How do we bridge this gap?
My answer is one. I have said it before. I've said it over and over again, and I will say it anytime until I see it being implemented. The merger, the 2 parties, they should come together and then strike things out. Tell us what you want. what you expect. And let us also structure, the curriculum together to churn out the type of people that are expected in the industry. Then all these things will come to play. We'll be able to tell them that, for this person to be able to work as a manager or a supervisor, then this is the requisite maybe period of time that we think that the person should be able to work in the industry. And these are the things that we expect. These are the areas that we expect the person to be trained in. And these are the outcomes that we expect. So if we are able to come together and we spell out these things, then we make sure they are enacted. Then we'll be able to go forward. I also want to chip in one reason why I think the human capital is, in as much as we are talking about the employers, we are talking about the institutions that they are not teaching well and whatever. The employees themselves, the students that we are teaching, are they serious? Are they really learning? What are they also doing for themselves? You understand? So it is an all-round thing. The teachers will teach, or the institutions will do the impartation of the knowledge. The trainers will do whatever they want to do. They have to do. In the industry, you go for training, attachment, whatsoever you call it. But you, that individual, especially people, this era, people, you and I know, are they learning? Are they ready for the market? Because if the knowledge is imparted, the teacher does it. When I finish teaching, I cannot come and force you as a student to, grasp whatever I have delivered, and I make sure I'm talking for myself here. You understand? Although I represent my institution, but then I teach with all my heart. That is what I am doing. And me, for one, personally, I want to work well because that is where I receive my salary from. I hate eating where I have not planted. So I do it very well. And I know everyone that finds him or herself in such position, that is it. So when the lecturers do their work, when the trainers do their work, you, the trainee, what are you doing for yourself? Sometimes it's like, they are going to school, let me also go some. They are doing hospitality, let me also. Sometimes even the people, the interests of the students, you understand? I'm trying to touch various areas. Sometimes, it's a family thing. We have a hotel, go and do hospitality so that you come and work there.
Management.
You understand? So, is that person interested in that? Is that person does the person have a flair for it? When you are doing something that you are not interested in, believe you me, you cannot do it and do it well. You will do it, but you will not do it well. You understand me? So this thing we are talking about, everyone has a role to play. The training, the trainer, the trainee, the policy maker, all of us, we all have responsibilities to perform, to make sure that this industry really works and works well and it's sustained.
Okay. And then, Doc, another follow-up question. Why do we have graduates, not just the technical institution, but from vocational, from even the universities, walking into this hospitality industry with low energy? They seem not to be perturbed about anything happening. They seem not to have any orientation, and they find themselves in a very dynamic industry. What has created all this problem? They spend all this number of years in school. They do all the internship, but they come out and they just don't appear to belong.
Mm, mm. Yeah, yeah. Thank you. You know, that is one thing. Most of them, they come out like that, and then it's like they don't even know what to do, where to start from, where to go. But like you said, this industry is a very dynamic one. Hospitality is so, it's like when you do hospitality, you are versatile. You can do a lot of things. You can do a lot of things. But somebody reading hospitality from whichever institution and then comes out, and then within 6 months or even a year, the person is not doing anything, and you ask the person, what are you doing? I'm home. I've not got a job. Then you ask yourself, what is happening? Did you actually do hospitality? That is what I mentioned earlier.
A very good
There are
question.
so many factors that contribute to such. One, lack of interest. The interest is not there, and you force the person to do it, or you ask the person, compel the person to do it. They will come out, you said I should do it, I've done it, so what? You understand?
Yes.
Some people are also not motivated. You know, some people are not motivated when they have the motivation. So I am thinking that what we are discussing, maybe at a certain time in the training, whichever institution it is, there should be some kind of career development, something, that is introduced. So in fact, our curriculum needs a restructuring.
Amendment.
Yes, something like a career development training or something. People are in the industry, people like you and I seated here, and even people that we look up to, they are there. We can call industry people, talk to these people, and let them know the realities, the facts, and let them know where they also started before they found themselves where they are now. When our students get these things, often and on, they will be motivated to do something. But when you don't have any motivation, then so what? That is when people, leave that kind of lackadaisical attitude towards work, towards because they lack motivation.
So they really need to have mentoring and coaching before they come out of school.
Exactly. So it should be part of the training, I think.
Okay.
No.
Do we have any more submission on what we can do to build the human capital before we take the closing remarks?
Yeah. I think Dr. Danso mentioned that the students are not learning, like no matter what you do to them, they are not like people. It's like people have been forced into the hospitality industry. It's very true. I remember in high school, it's like anyone who gets a bad grade, they push the person in home economics class.
Good. Exactly.
Whether the person is interested in it or not. Some of us, we were sacked to go to the science class and we refused to go because our interest has been in cooking.
Yeah.
But it's like anybody who gets something like grade 18 and over, they push the person into home economics class. And after school, some of them do not make it to any school. Before you know it, they'll go and do stroke 1. Then later, maybe better their grades and come and do HND or go to stroke 2. So the interest has not been there from the beginning. So they don't even know why they are doing hospitality. Some of them, excuse me, sometimes people just want to be a good wife, so they want to go and learn how to cook. Unlike today, you can learn how to cook on YouTube.
Yeah.
People really do not understand hospitality. Sometimes if you say you did hospitality, they say, then you know how to cook. You've worked in the restaurant. That's all they know.
Misconceptions they have about it.
They think hospitality is all about cooking. And I
taking care of a man.
Yeah. So I was like, no, the hospitality industry, I can do accounting, I can market, I can do some bit of statistics. I know about financing. I know about economics. You know. So when you say you did hospitality management, you did home econs, they see you to be a cook champion.